All right, guys. So this Wednesday, our RX Plus option for pull-ups is going to be a pullover. So I wanted to take a few minutes today and just go over a couple of pointers and maybe little kind of benchmarks, if you will, to see like, hey, if I can do this, then maybe I can go to the next step. And if I can get the next step, maybe then I can go to the next step. And we're trying to kind of scaffold this in a way that you guys could take these little pieces of a pullover and then eventually or hopefully put them all together and be able to get all the way above the bar. So step one for a pullover is you need to be able to complete a strict pull-up. And not just a strict pull-up, but a strict pull-up in a hollow body position. And the reason why we want you to be in a hollow body position is because it's going to angle your torso back, which eventually is going to allow us to get our hips to the bar instead of just getting the chin of the bar. So step one should look something like this. Strict pull-up in a hollow body position. And if you can, pull the bar as low as possible. So that's kind of step one. Can you get a strict pull-up in the hollow body position, slightly leaning back, pulling the bar as low as possible? Because remember, eventually we're going to be up above and on top of the bar in a support position. So we've got to be able to get those hips high enough to do that. So if you can get a strict pull-up or a strict chest to bar in the hollow body position, step two would be able to do the same thing, a strict pull-up, this time with our knees up and really emphasizing pulling our hips to the bar. So step two should look something like this. Strict pull-up, where we're going to initiate the movement with the knees first, lean back, and then pull the chest to the bar. So hollow body position, knees up, strict pull-up. So that's really step two. Can you get your body all the way up to the bar with those knees up? Because what's going to happen is eventually those knees are going to rise above the bar with our hips making contact on the bar. So step two, strict pull-up, where we initiate the knee lift first, and then we try to pull that bar as close to our lap as possible. If you can get that, step three will be trying to get your hips all the way to the bar, but instead of leaving your knees out front like we just did, trying to get the knees back and behind the bar. And one of the most important things with this particular element is always trying to keep your vision on your knees. And what that's going to do is that's going to help us maintain that hollow body position. A lot of people, when they're doing a pullover, they can get their lap to the bar, but they kind of get stuck in this position draped on top because they start to arch the low back too early instead of staying tight in that hollow body position. So step three should look something like this. Okay, strict hollow body position, knees up, and then trying to get the knees back and behind the bar. So we're not pulling over the bar yet. We're just trying to get our knees up on top of the bar and then extend those legs up and back. So that's kind of step three. Initiating the movement with the knees, pulling the chest up, pulling that lap to the bar, getting those knees up and over the top of the bar, and then extending the hips over the top. Okay? If you can get that, step four is going to be able to do that same exact movement, but instead of this time bending with the knees, we're going to be in a nice tight pike position with the feet. So the feet are going to lead over the top of the bar instead of the knees leading over the top of the bar. So step four should look something like this. Almost like a strict toe to bar, leading with the legs and the knees over the top of the bar. So you guys saw that I kept that nice tight position as those feet lead over the top of the bar. You can almost kind of see myself begin to teeter up on top of the bar, and that's where I can very easily then tip all the way over. So if you can go through all of those progressions, you're pretty much at a pullover. But remember, the key with a pullover is to keep those eyes focused on those knees so that I can almost pendulum swing over the top of the pull-up bar, and my weight of my feet and my calves and my knees and my quads going above the bar will pull me over the top. So last step should look something like this. All these are going to start exactly the same way. Nice tight hollow body position. Lead with the toes. Transfer to support above the bar. Hollow body pullover. The last thing that I wanted to go over with you guys real quick is maybe a rep that doesn't look technically sound. I remember if you, back earlier on in the video, I said one of the keys to this moment or this movement is making sure you're making eye contact with your knees as your legs transition above the bar. So I wanted to show you guys what happens if I take my eyes off my knees and I begin to open up through that midline. You guys are going to see here in just a second that I'm going to take my eyes off my knees as my weight's transitioning above the bar, and I'm going to try to open those hips and open that back to carry myself over and above the bar, but it's going to cause me to stick in that position. So I just wanted you guys to see kind of what a bad rep looks like as well. So remember, we're going to start nice tight hollow body position, point those toes, pull the feet up, transition. I take the eyes off the knees, and then once I get into this position, I literally cannot get myself up and over the bar. So remember, that's a key piece. As the toes and the knees and the hips transition over the top of the bar, you have to keep those eyes locked in on those knees. That's going to help maintain that hollow body position, and I can very easily just slide right over the top of the bar. So again, I'll show you what that looks like with the proper form and technique. Hollow body position, lead with the toes, nice and tight. Maintain that good eye contact with the knees. Finish in the support position.